is full. I'm very happy to welcome you, and I think we can now officially begin the prize giving ceremony for the 2025 Pacific Dataviz Challenge.
Ça fait beaucoup d'écho, ça fait plaisir à entendre aussi.
Yeah, that's a lot of clapping and a lot of echo. Makes me very happy. My team and myself are extremely happy to have you with us this morning. As you are aware, this is an annual challenge and it keeps changing and evolving over time. There's been some changes. For the very first time in the history of our challenge, you will have a live prize-giving ceremony. As we have people joining us from overseas, we have friends in Fiji. They will be in a position to listen to this meeting directly from the main meeting room in the Pacific Island Forum Secretariat. I think I can now give the floor to my colleague Portia, who will take over from Suva, and she will tell us about the atmosphere in Fiji. How are things in Suva, Portia?
To our colleagues in Numea, Excellencies, senior officials, colleagues and friends of the Blue Pacific. We're here in Suva at the PIF's main conference room. We've just had lunch, so everyone's feeling very happy and settled. Colleagues, thank you so much for joining us today and taking time to come and celebrate this great event, as well as the winners for this challenge. I'd just like to give us a round of applause to our winners, as well as everyone that has participated in the challenge, please. So our program is very short today. We're clapping in the mirror. Our program is very short today. I'll just hand over back to Leo, who will take us through the rest of what we have planned. Thank you. Over to you, Leo.
En direct de Nouméa. Toujours rêvé de dire ça, alors je le dis quand même devant vous. C'est génial, c'est la première fois, ça fonctionne très bien.
Live from Nouméa. I've always wanted to say that, so I'm glad it's working. So we are very happy to have Portia with us in the Pacific Dataviz Challenge. My name is Leo, and for those of you who may know me, I'm in charge of coordinating the challenge, and I'm also a statistics analyst at SPC. Without further ado, let's have a quick look at our program for this morning. Of course, you'll have to be patient before we actually announce the winners. We will first have a very classical, formal introduction by our Director General, Mr. Minchin. Then we will hear the representative of the Pacific Island Forum Secretariat with Mr. Adhyaksa, the directors of operations of the forum. Then we will mention a few key figures regarding 2025. Who are the participants? What are their profile? Where are they coming from? How old are they? And then, and I think that will be a very interesting thing, we'll have a video of a person, the person who won the Pacific Prize last year. Then we'll talk about the next steps for the Blue Pacific 2050.
Et ce sera dévoilé directement par un de nos collègues et confrères, M. Mouniama, en direct de PIFS.
And we'll see Mr. Mouniama on this. And then we'll have the testimony of one of the members of the jury. She did a remarkable work by reviewing all of the data for this year's challenge. And then, of course, we will announce the winners. I know you're all very impatient and you all want to know who the winners are. And then we'll hear closing remarks from the Secretary General of the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program, Mr. Sefania Nawadra. So that's it in a nutshell. Thank you again for being with us. We'll have a question and answer session at the end of this morning's session. We have participants joining on Zoom. So if our Zoom participants have questions, they may, of course, ask them through the chat on Zoom. And Phil Bright will keep an eye on the questions and we will answer them at the end of this session. Before giving the floor to our Director General, I would like to thank him for supporting us throughout the years since the very first Pacific Dataviz Challenge. He has been with us on our side from the very first such challenge 4 years ago. He's also been able to see how the challenge has evolved over time, so he knows all about it, and I now give him the floor for his introductory remarks.
Thanks, Leo, and welcome everyone to SPC for this prize-giving ceremony. First, I have a confession to make. I'm a bit of a data geek. I like data, but even people like me that get excited about data realise that it's just a building block from which we build knowledge, insight, and hopefully, eventually, wisdom. In order to get to wisdom, data needs to be delivered in digestible and packaged forms in order to build our understanding of what we're looking at, which is why it's an immense pleasure to welcome you here to the awards ceremony of the 2025 Pacific Dataviz Challenge. This marks the 4th edition of the challenge, and each year we're inspired to see it grow stronger with more participants, more diversity and greater innovation. In particular, this year we're proud to note an increase of more than 50% in participation compared to the last year's effort. It's a clear signal that Pacific people, especially our youth, are embracing data as a tool to tell stories, to spark change and to shape the future of our region. The theme of this year's challenge, Blue Pacific 2050, is especially timely. It speaks directly to the ambitions of the 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific continent, and it resonates deeply as the Pacific Island Forum leaders met just last week in Honiara to reaffirm their vision for our collective future. The Pacific Dataviz Challenge is not just a competition, it's an invitation for everyone to take hold of Pacific data and use it to tell the stories that matter most to them, their challenges, their hopes and their vision for the Pacific that they want to see. Through the Pacific Data Hub, a platform built by the Pacific for the Pacific, we aim to make data more accessible, more relevant and more inspiring. This challenge helps bring that vision to life, showing us that data can be transformed into something powerful, a story that educates, informs and inspires real action. Above all, today is about celebrating the creativity, diversity and passion of our participants. It's your work demonstrating the incredible potential of the Pacific when we combine the talent with collaboration. Collaboration is indeed what brings us here today. The Pacific Dataviz Challenge aligns and advances the regional priorities championed by the Pacific Islands Forum. Together, through shared vision and collective action, we can make the Blue Pacific 2050 vision a reality, one where our cultures thrive, our data empowers us, and our region leads with innovation and resilience. So I'll stop there and pass back to you, Leo. Thanks.
Merci beaucoup, Dr. Minchin, pour cette belle introduction. Je souhaite maintenant donner la parole de nouveau à Portia, à Suva. On va repartir et voyager un petit peu à travers la mer et repartir côté Fiji. Merci, Portia.
Portia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Leo. DG. Colleagues, we now welcome to the podium Director Apaitia, Director of Operations for Pacific Islands Forum Secretary, to give some opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Portia. Thank you, Leo from Niume. I stand here on behalf of our Deputy Secretary General, who unfortunately cannot make it at this time. But Excellencies, the Director General of SPC, crop colleagues, senior officials, youth representatives, and colleagues. Mbula Vinaka and a warm Pacific greetings to everyone. It is my privilege to welcome you to this special occasion to celebrate the creativity, the innovation, and energy of our youth who took part in this important initiative, the Pacific Dataviz Challenge. This challenge invited young people from across the region to reframe the ways in which we use data, not just as numbers, but as stories that can inspire meaningful action. This year's theme of Blue Pacific 2050 is about reimagining our shared future, one where our ocean, our islands, our people, and our culture merge with technology to ensure an interconnected and innovative Pacific. Your participation demonstrates a strong commitment to our leaders' 2050 vision, using evidence-based approaches to generate new knowledge and inform decisions. In fact, the work you've done will help us to consider how we can monitor and measure progress towards the 2050 strategy. By transforming data into compelling visual narratives, you are helping track our collective journey, identifying where we are falling behind, and where we must go next. Each submission speaks to this vision, whether you explored climate change, population trends, health, education, or the role of youth in shaping our future. You've shown us that data is not just technical, it is human. Through this challenge, you've shown that Pacific youth are not just consumers of information. You are shaping narratives, you're driving change, and redefining how data connects to our lives and cultures and our future. The Pacific Youth Prize category seeks to recognize and challenge and celebrate, this potential, and to encourage the ongoing leadership and energy that you contribute to building our Blue Pacific future. Storytelling, as you all know, is the soul of our Pacific culture. It is how we remember, it's how we teach, and how we evolve. Today, through the art of data visualization, you continue that tradition in a new way. So let today be a reminder to us all that Pacific youth belong at the center of conversations about our future. Whether or not you take home a prize today, you are already winners because you dare to take part, to share your vision, and to contribute to something much, much larger than yourself. To everyone who made this possible, the participants, the organizers, partners, and especially our inspiring young people, I thank you. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge SPC for championing this bold and innovative innovation. Let us look ahead with confidence. Our Blue Pacific is in good hands. And I thank you.
Thank you, Director Baitia. Leo, we hand back to you in Numea.
Vinaka, valez-vous. Thank you very much. Merci pour ces deux belles introductions.
Thank you very much for these beautiful introductory remarks, Dr. Minchin, Dr. Viogo.
Je propose maintenant d'avoir un petit peu un regard de nouveau sur le profil de nos participants de cette année.
Let's now have a closer look at the profile of our participants this year. A few key figures for 2025.
Je dois vous faire une petite confidence. J'ai commencé avec le micro, mais apparemment le son n'est pas de
Sorry, I started with the wireless mic, but apparently I'm far too tall, so we can't use the wireless microphone. Please bear with me. Bear with me, I'll be using the rostrum mic. This year again, we've had far more than 100 participants, which was our objective. We received, in fact, 148 projects from 27 different countries. That's absolutely unbelievable, and I think we all deserve some warm congratulations.
En effet, pour rappel, Il y a 4 ans, on avait commencé avec seulement
4 years ago, we started off with 11 projects. Last year, we had 95, and this year, as I said, 148 projects. So the number of participants keeps increasing, and we are very proud of that.
Where on est fiers de cette progression, et notamment de la progression concernant la participation.
Participants, where are they coming from?
Nous étions à peu près à une personne sur 3 venant du Pacifique.
In the past, we had one participant out of 3 living in the Pacific. The rate is now 1 out of 2, so 50% of the participants live in the Pacific.
Nous avons donc par exemple la Polynésie française,
in French Polynesia, in Fiji, in New Caledonia, obviously, but also in Papua New Guinea
et de Samoa également.
and in Samoa as well. And that's real progress. Now, at the global scale, we also have great diversity in terms of the countries that participated in the challenge. We had one participant in Ecuador and another one in Ireland and another one in Nigeria. So we can say that the comms team did very well indeed.
Et maintenant, puisqu'on est quand même un petit peu là pour parler de ça,
now,
allez-y, rentrez.
After all, this is why we're here. I suggest we have a closer look at the participants' profile. After all, we're here to talk about statistics. The first interesting thing here is about the proportion of the type of Dataviz submissions we received. The proportion is exactly the same as last year. In other words, 43% of submissions concern the static and 57% the interactive challenge. Now, as regards participant by gender, that's also quite interesting. 2 years ago, 60% of our participants were men and 40% were women. And we now have the complete reversed situation. We now have more women participating than men, 59% women and 41% for men. Guys, you have to do something. Wake up before next year. Now, participants by age. I quite like those statistics. Why? Because the graph here shows that the proportion of young people that took part in the challenge has considerably increased for the 15 to 26 years age group. We have a participant from Indonesia, and he's only 15. But we also have a participant that is the oldest participant that started taking part in the challenge 2 years ago. She also participated in the challenge this year, but she didn't just participate in the challenge, she also involved all of her students of the local university. I'd like to ask Ida Carapel to please stand up. Here she is. Congratulations, Ida, for your incredible motivation and for communicating your motivation to your students. And this is you at the bottom, the little pie section. So Ida Carapel is an example to all of us. It shows that the tech and data is not just for young people. Now, watch a video of Fiona Umpa, who won the challenge last year. So let's have a look at the video and then we'll continue with the rest of our program.
We're very happy to have you here. Thank you so much again, Fiona.
Thank you for having me here.
So you won the Pacific Prize last year at the Pacific Dataviz Challenge 2024. How did it all start? Were you always interested in data?
Well, I was always in the tech field because I graduated with a bachelor's degree in IT back in 2004. And I've always been in the tech field, but I actually started working really in the data field since 2018.
What was your data about?
Yeah, so my data was about domestic violence cases in the southern province in the southern province, yeah.
In New Caledonia?
In New Caledonia, yes, so yeah.
So that became meaningful afterwards.
That was a that was a project that really, that sort of became the motivation for me that I would say that drove me to the finishing line. Because like I started off wanting to win the cash prize, but then looking at the data itself, their lives being affected with domestic violence. And during that time, I realized that I could actually use my skills to, raise awareness as well.
Yeah.
So that was for me the driving motivation as well to drive me to actually finishing it off.
How did you feel when you realized that you won?
When I was told by Leo that I won, I actually screamed at the house. I'm like, yeah, I won something. I told my son, I won something. And he was like, what did you win? I'm like, I won the Pacific Dataviz challenge. In addition to that, I think that was the first time that they put out the Pacific category. So to be the one to have won the Pacific, the first one to have won that category, I mean, I was very honored to have been the first one to have won that. Yes, so great experience. Yes, definitely. After winning in September 2024, I got that additional motivation and confidence in myself to actually register my business back home in PNG. Yeah, I met a lot of some of the other winners as well, which I took their course as well, and that gave me that motivation, that gave me the confidence to actually launch my business.
Really impressive, Fiona. I don't think you realize that you have become like a model to a lot of people, and especially young women in the Pacific. How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm very humbled by that. I've always been someone who's wanted to help others, and well, I'm grateful if having this win has given me this opportunity to help others.
So, if you would have a message to tell the Fiona 5 years ago, 10 years ago, what would it be?
The message to
yourself,
to myself 10 years ago. Wow. You can do it. Yeah. Whatever projects and whatever plans that you have, you can actually do it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fiona, for taking the time and being with us today.
Thank you to you as well, yes, for this time.
Yeah, you're very inspiring, and we're looking forward to see what your next adventure will be.
Thank you so much.
Félicitations encore, Fiona, pour ce beau témoignage. On est très content de te compter parmi la famille du Pacific Dataviz Challenge. Je souhaitais remercier évidemment l'équipe communication qui nous a aidé à réaliser cette vidéo.
I'd like to thank the comms team for this video. They're all hiding somewhere. Hetty is hiding somewhere, but she was really great in asking the right questions to Fiona. She did really well indeed. Thank you very much to the comms team for producing this video.
Il y a ici 3 messages clés que j'aimerais qu'on retienne de ce témoignage.
There are 3 key messages here. First, the motivation and the resilience shown by Fiona. As you may have noticed at the end of the video, she says, believe in you, you can do it. And I think it's a wonderful lesson. Fiona participated in the challenge 2 years ago for the first time. She was a beginner then, and she ended up winning the prize last year. So you really should believe in yourself. Don't give up, even if you do not win a prize today. The second thing, which I think was very important, is that the Dataviz challenge allows for closer connection between people. She told us that she contacted other Pacific Dataviz challenge winners, including one of the persons that won last year, and she got in touch with him and she learned from him, and that too is one of the goals of the challenge. If you win this year, It will only be the beginning. As Fiona said, when she won the prize, that helped her get greater visibility, and she ended up creating her own business. And I think it's a wonderful example for all of us. It shows to our young colleagues here how important motivation is. Now, let's go back to Fiji, and our friends in Fiji will present the next stages of the program. Suva, can you please take over, Portia?
Leo. Colleagues, we will now hear from Mouniama here at PIFS to give us an overview on the next steps for the 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific.
Thank you, Portia and Leo. And thank you to the organizers of this event for really bringing everyone together to really advocate for the Blue Pacific and the Blue Pacific strategy. Just to speak a bit on some of the next steps that we're looking at for the strategy itself and how we are going to continue this work with our crop family. Of course, it's continuing this one crop approach with the implementation of the strategy, which includes the establishment of the thematic advisory group. And this will coordinate the implementation of the 2050 strategy. These thematic advisory groups, or tags as we would like to call them, will include our non-crop partners and agencies to help in the technical delivery and ensure a whole of region approach to the implementation of the 2050 strategy. We also look forward to the continuing strengthening of the Pacific Data Hub, including the 2050 dashboard to address some of the gaps within the thematic areas. The dashboard, 2050 dashboard, will provide the data for reporting to leaders on the progress towards our goals and outcomes highlighted in the 2050 strategy. And then just finally, looking forward to the our continued effort and our advocacy in supporting our young talent and innovative approaches to using data and information sharing for policy development. This platform has enabled experts to demonstrate their skills while providing policymakers with new perspectives on how data can be used in creative and impactful ways to tell stories, inform decision, and shape responses for our regional priorities. So look forward to the continued work, and thank you again, SPC team, Laka.
Thank you so much, Billy. Leo, back to you in Numea.
Thank you very much for this. We're delighted to have you as a partner of the Dataviz challenge, Vinaka Vakalevu to Fiji. Let's go back in time, if you don't mind, on the various events that were part of this 2025 Pacific Dataviz challenge. This challenge is not just a competition as such. We also organize webinars. There were 2 of them this year, on the 10th of June and the 26th of June. We invited 4 experts each time. Some of them are part of the jury. They shared their knowledge, their know-how with the participants, but also with those that were curious of what could be shared with them. Let me give you just an example that I really liked personally, but my colleagues also liked, is that of Jeremy Sheridan, data scientist with the French rugby team. And in his daily work, he analyzes the performance of his players, Antoine Dupont being one of them, And over these performances, you have algorithms of the data being analyzed. They send them to the coach of the French rugby team. And the message of Dataviz, if it's just to talk about complicated data that the coach couldn't understand as such, well, through a data analyst or scientist, it's easier to understand. The message gets across so that behind that, decisions are taken on how to play various tactics depending on the team you're playing. So this was the objective, to have these kind of experts to show you what Dataviz could be used on the daily manner. And then on the 18th of September, today, this is the prize ceremony. Amongst the various activities we organized, the hardest one was to score, to rate your work. And as I say, well, as an organizing committee, let me tell you that I'm delighted not to have to do it, because the quality goes up every year. We see participants are more and more numerous, but that's the interesting thing as well. The quality doesn't go down. I'm not saying that, the judges say that. So we had Alicia Muccio, Dr. Lagopia Chira Jackson, Yutizami Viliame that we heard earlier, and Shelly Chang. I just wanted to thank them all, because this is really hard to give a mark to score these Dataviz Challenge projects. Thank you. Sorry, we were supposed to get a feedback from one of those judges, but she's extremely sorry for not being with us. I'm going to have to speak instead of her. Dr. Lagibrova Cheryl Jackson is a very well-known journalist, a known journalist here in the Pacific and also overseas. She comes from Samoa, and she has her way of talking about climate change. It was an honor for us for her to be here with us, and this year to be part of the judges. She also took part in the webinar, and she told us all about her vision of storytelling. She's one of our angels, in a way, of the Pacific Dataviz Challenge. I'm delighted to be able to work with her own network. So, in any case, what she wanted to share with you today was that she was surprised, impressed, amazed, as she says herself, by the quality of your projects. And this is beautiful, because to impress somebody of her caliber is always a proof of quality of your work. Now, that's really the important part of today's ceremony. You are, of course, expecting to know who won the prizes, but first of all, I have something to share with you. I'm going to play with your patience today. Remember this slide, at least you know this, I think, the 6 different prizes to win this year. Open, Pacific, and Pacific Youth. These are the 3 categories. After discussion with our judges, and after having shared with them the high quality of your projects, coming from everywhere in the world, and the quantity, we decided with the judges and the organizing committee to add 2 prizes. They're highly commended, which is great news. You can smile. There's 2 more chances to win a prize this year. It's important for us to, of course, add to these prices with 2 more prices, a total of $17,250 to win. I see some are smiling more than others. In any case, before we announce the winners, let me tell you something. I wanted to tell you that I'm very proud of all of you. Today, we are not just celebrating the winners, we're celebrating everybody, all of those who were motivated enough and said, yes, we can do it, yes, we can learn, yes, we can create, and yes, we can be successful. We are going through a difficult time of a lot of changes. Here in the Pacific, we're in the front line of the climate change, the impact of climate change and natural disasters. Our societies have to reinvent themselves. Our communities need to find new solutions to prosper. And this task, this challenge, can only be that of the new generation. Of course, don't be mistaken, when I'm talking about the young, I don't just talk about your age on your ID card or your birth certificate. I'm actually talking about the way you think about the world, your energy, your creativity, and your courage. Ida Carapel is the living proof of that. She's still young, not just because time stops, but because she still believes, she still is putting forward some ideas. This idea, the fact of being young in your head, we saw that in Vanuatu when young people decided in a classroom to focus on climate change and through data to put it to the highest court of justice in The Hague. Not only did they put forward this issue, but they also got decisions in return. They asked the polluting states to be accountable towards the Pacific states. So that's really what makes our Pacific so strong, to say no to being silent and to be part of the change. And yeah, in a couple of minutes, you're going to get some prizes. But the biggest prize, and I want to say that to all of you, is not the material win or the award or money. It's ideas, it's a new knowledge and a new confidence, the fact that you can actually go further tomorrow. To those of you that will not win later on, I want to say this. Don't give up. Take this step as a springboard. Continue to create, to think, to make your voices heard, because each idea counts. Each story you're going to tell through data is going to have an impact on the world. And to those of you who will go back home with a prize, don't forget that this is only a starting point, just like Fela said. It's an invitation to go further with your dreams and to inspire other people to follow up on your footsteps. And let's not forget that the Pacific, with its humility, can also be sometimes a bit afraid of shining. Shining doesn't mean you dominate. It means that you're part of the world, and this world needs the light of the Pacific, just like these students from Vanuatu showed us. Today, more than ever, through the knowledge of the elders and the creativity of the young ones, we will go further. Thank you all to make these your ideas shine. And let's now move on to the winners.
Apparemment, il faut que j'accélère.
Apparently, I need to go faster. Well, the first prize now today, we're going quite fast. Don't worry, I'm not going to be a TV presenter here. I will be very fast. The winner of the 2025 Pacific Dataviz Challenge in the interactive category called Open is Adhyaksa Hamid, paying the heaviest of the carbon debt never incurred. If it's possible, could we have a reaction from Noor if Noor is online? I think he might be online. It could take a few minutes, a few seconds, I hope, yeah? The tech team is telling me I can go ahead. We should have Noor online. Be patient.
Bon, vous avez compté, il en reste encore 7. Hein.
You counted, right? There's 7 more. Oh, he's here.
Good morning, everyone.
Bonjour, Nour.
Good morning.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Good morning. Could you tell us your reaction after winning the prize? Can you tell us the message you wanted to share on this challenge and how you got to take part in the challenge?
Yeah, it's definitely an honor to be a finalist and also to win this challenge. I'm lost a lot of words, but it's definitely amazing to be in this competition with so many amazing contestants and also participants from around the world. And I would also like to thank the judge, the organizers, and also everyone's involved for creating such an amazing competition. Also get to know the region, the Pacific, better through data. Yeah, I hope that with my visualization, it can also be as a reminder that we can act collectively to face such threats like climate change together. So yeah, to lift the burden of the highly vulnerable region, such as Pacific Island nations. So thank you very much for creating such amazing competition. Yeah.
This is the prize for Noor that he can put, on his mantelpiece in his kitchen or elsewhere. Anyway, this was the first winner for 2025. Let's move to the second category. But before that, I have a short video to share with you on his Dataviz. It's going to be very short.
Specialist at Kopo For this year's Pacific Dataviz Challenge, I decided to create a visual essay focused on climate change and disasters care area. This essay highlights the position of the region in terms of climate change vulnerability, and then showing what the people of the Pacific might experience in the future due to climate extremes, and then showing the preparedness of the region to face such challenge. Finally, I want to put an emphasis that climate change mitigation does not come without a cost. That's all of my visual essay. I hope that this can serve as a reminder for us to act together, not only to lessen the impact of climate change, but also to share the burden carried by the world's most vulnerable regions. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Noor.
Thank you, Noor. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next winner for the interactive category, Pacific. The name of the winner is Eunice Rigo for Blue Paradigm. Eunice, you could perhaps join us. We're lucky enough to have Eunice here. This was not planned, and I'm delighted that she's here. And she can receive her trophy. And just one request in the room. I hope that Fiona is also here with us. Fiona is here. Fiona, could you please join me here? Because the winner of the Pacific category from last year could here hand over the prize to the new winner from this year's challenge. Thank you.
Je te laisse lui remettre le trophée.
You can hand over the trophy to Eunice.
Félicitations, Eunice.
Congratulations, Eunice, and thank you for being here with us. Perhaps in a minute, 1 minute, could you please tell us about your Dataviz? And I have a short video that you will have on this screen, so you can talk about that. I'll give you the mic. Thank you so much. My project is called... It's the first time I'm going to talk about that in French, but it's called Blue Paradigm. It's a gamification, a transformation in a game of a strategy and it makes it possible to involve people playing, to take decisions, and to take decisions of our future and what the future would be. So there's lots of parts. It's an interactive exercise, and I'm inviting through this to create, to dream, and to dare believe that we all have an impact and that each tiny little decision counts, specifically in our region with all our efforts. So I'm delighted to have been chosen and to inspire so many young people. Thank you so much.
Merci Eunice. Je vous invite maintenant à regagner votre
Thank
place.
you, Eunice. Perhaps you can
Bravo pour ce
go
trophée.
back to your seat, and
On l'applaudit une
well
dernière fois.
done. Congratulations.
Et maintenant, troisième prix.
Now, third prize handed over today for the interactive category for the Pacific Youth part of this category.
Pélagie, Sivitongo.
Pélagie Sivitongo is the winner.
Et finalement, quoi de mieux comme symbole?
Of course,
Sa professeure.
the symbol would be to ask Nila Polo, her teacher, to also join us, because it's really thanks to her teacher, I think, that this person won this prize. And as the organizing committee, we would like to thank all the teachers here that are sharing their knowledge with their students and that make this really alive. We're thinking Apollo, but all the teachers involved in this challenge as well.
Donc c'était une grande fierté.
I'm extremely proud to be able to hand over this prize to you, this first Pacific Dataviz Challenge 2025 for the Pacific Youth Prize. You really deserve it, and even more than that. And I would like to also take the opportunity to thank the students from the Terminal S, from Lycée du Mont d'Or class. They also played along. Thank you all, and thank you to all of these young people here. I take the opportunity to say that we don't expect from you to have all the knowledge, to know how to do things. What we expect from you is to be curious and to really want to learn. Thank you so much.
Ne t'en vas pas.
Don't leave, don't leave.
Tu restes avec nous, Pélagie.
Stay with us, Pélagie.
Je propose qu'on regarde ensemble aussi.
Perhaps we could have a look at this Dataviz together. Do you mind if could you please tell us a little bit? Describe what you did? It's going to be okay, don't worry.
On respire.
Just breathe.
La Dataviz va apparaître à l'écran.
Your Dataviz is going to be shown on the screen. You can just say a few words if you wish to describe it, say which message you want to get across. Please encourage her. Thank you.
Donc, bonjour à tous.
Good morning, everybody. Well, what I did with my teacher is this project. It talks about pollution in the ocean. And the story, well, it talks about me when I was in UVA. I was looking at the beach and it was all clean. And when I came to Nouméa to study, I looked at beaches here as well, and I saw a lot of pollution. Why the whale? Because I love whales. Well done, well done. Well done, thank you. And congratulations to you.
Bravo à elle, c'est un exercice pas facile.
Congratulations. It's not easy to do some public speaking, especially when you're that young. So, well done. Congratulations, Pélagie. Let's go back to Suva. We are going to back to sea, and I'll give the floor to my colleagues in Suva.
Thank you so much, Rigo, and congratulations to the winners of this challenge. Really amazing and innovative work that we've seen. Colleagues, today we are very happy to announce two highly commended awards. As Leo had mentioned, there were so many great entries, so we had to add more just to show our appreciation for everyone that's participated. I would like to announce that the highly commended for the Pacific is Crispin Laka, a gentleman from Solomon Islands, whose entry was focused on visualizing digital access across the Blue Pacific. Let's give him a round of applause, please. We have Crispin on the line, and we welcome him to say a few words. Over to you, Crispin. Congratulations.
Great. Thank you very much for this award. It's very humble to be selected and also to be given this highly recommended award. Just want to say thanks to the Dataviz Challenge team, Leo and your team, the judges, humbled by this choice. Also honored to be a finalist. So thanks very much for the award. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We now have, we'll just have a very short video on Crispin's entry.
Hi, my name is Crispin Laka, and I'm representing the Solomon Islands. This project is my contribution to improving digital inclusion across the Pacific. I analyzed internet, mobile, and broadband data across 16 Pacific nations, and what the data shows is clear. While infrastructure is improving, digital inclusion is still vastly uneven. Millions of Pacific Islanders still remain offline, especially in the rural areas. So the message I wish to share is this. It's not just about coverage, it's about inclusion. It's about making sure every community, every Pacific Islander gains the access, the skills, and the confidence they need in order to be part of our shared digital future. On that note, I'd like to thank the Pacific Dataviz Challenge team for this opportunity. Let's keep building a digitally inclusive Blue Pacific.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. And we also now have the pleasure of introducing the next prize, and we're very, very happy that the two participants are here with us in the room. I'd like to call up Lusiana and Elia, who are both with the Fiji Bureau of Statistics. They have won the award for highly commended Pacific Youth. Elia and Lusiana, please. And we will have just a bouquet of flowers to show appreciation to them. Handed over by Evelyn, our Deputy Director for Statistics Division at SPC. Give them a round of applause, colleagues. And we now welcome Elia and Lusiana to say a few words and tell us about their experience. Thank you so much, Evelyn.
Bulvinaka all. On behalf of the Fiji Bureau of Statistics, my Chief Statistician, Director Corporate, who is here with us, and our Senior Statistician, we would like to thank the organizers and the coordinators of the Pacific Dataviz for allowing us to participate in this competition. For us, this journey for this Pacific Dataviz was actually a learning experience because for myself and my colleague Elia, we are both economics students, and we had joined the Bureau of Stats last year with actually zero to no knowledge of any data visualization tool. And thankfully, because of our GIS statistician, Mr. Phil Penchueli, he had introduced us to the softwares, which is ArcGIS and QGIS. It was from then that we were able to play around with the software and actually have a feel of the data visualization tool. And that is where we managed to come up with our entry for this Pacific Dataviz Challenge, which is the as you can see, this is it was mainly on the thematic area, resource and economic development. And we focused on tourism because my colleague here is from the tourism migration unit of our social statistics division. And it mainly and we were focusing on data, on how data telling the story with the tourism data that we compile at the Fiji Bureau of Statistics. And yes, it has been a wonderful learning experience. And we thank you all for allowing us to express our ideas during this Pacific Dataviz.
Thank you so much, and congratulations again to Crispin, Elia, and Lusiana. Over to you, Leo.
Oui. Merci beaucoup pour
Thank you very much for awarding those two prizes, Portia.
Évidemment que les trophées aussi seront produits un petit peu après. Ils auront bien aussi des beaux trophées comme on a pu.
They will of course receive the beautiful trophies that we've already presented here, but for lack of time we have not been in a position to produce them before the meeting. As I said, these are new prizes. Now turning to the static category, the winner in this category for the open prize is Eduardo España.
Pour la Dataviz, Echoes of the Unprotected Sea.
And the title of his Dataviz was...
Et nous avons une petite vidéo à vous partager de lui. Alors, il a mis les sous-titres, mais malheureusement, ça ne tombe pas très bien avec la Dataviz à côté. Mais vous verrez, je pense que c'est réellement une œuvre d'art qu'il a réalisée, à afficher chez soi, évidemment, sans modération.
The Unprotected Sea, and his Dataviz actually looks like a genuine work of art, as you can see.
I want to thank the organization and the jury for this honor. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to seeing the project from other finalists and participants. The main idea of my visualization is simple. The Pacific Ocean is fragile. Today, less than 1/4 of its waters are protected. Even though there are some of the richest and most vulnerable on Earth. The design is inspired by natural forms of the ocean, the spiral of cells, the growth of coral, and the rhythm of the sea. The central shape is the conch shell. In Pacific cultures, the conch was used to call people to carry voices and open special moments. Here, it becomes the voice of the ocean. Its lawyer tells a story. The space protected, the life it holds, and the risk it faces. Together, they remind us this is not only data. This is a call to action, a message to protect what is still alive. My dream is that soon, this cell will be entirely blue, a complex circle of protection where the Pacific can breathe and live in balance again. Thank you all. See you in the ceremony.
À savoir que Eduardo, sur cette vidéo, n'a aucune idée qu'il a gagné un prix.
I should perhaps point out that when this video was made, obviously, Eduardo had no idea he was going to win. This
Juste pour lui montrer, évidemment,
goes for all participants. And so this is the nice trophy that we will send directly to Spain, and we really enjoyed hearing him this morning. We love his Spanish accent. I can say that because I've got a terrible accent, in English. So moving on to the next category, the static Pacific category.
Et donc, la grande gagnante de ce prix n'est autre que
the winner is Sarah Mouniama.
When our waste suffocates the ocean.
A project called When Our Waste Suffocates the Ocean. I believe Sarah is with us. Oh, no, apparently she couldn't join us this morning. And I will call her a teacher, and she can say a few words on behalf of Sarah regarding the project submitted by Sarah, and she can then present the award to Sarah at a later stage. There you go. We ask you to please present it to Sarah. Angélique, would you like to say a few words? Angélique is a teacher at the Design School of Nouméa, and she will say a few words about the Dataviz project submitted by her student, Sarah.
Bonjour à tous.
Good morning, everyone. I'm extremely proud of Sarah's project. I think she's online with us. I'm very proud of you, Sarah. We insisted on the storytelling aspect of the project. That's something I insist on in all my courses. And this, as you can see, is a scroll-down storytelling about pollution and the tons of plastic that are produced and end up in our oceans. There are a number of visuals and illustrations to give a more human dimension to the topic. These visuals are meant to be shocking, obviously, with clear figures, and I think it is a highly accessible material, very easy to understand, and of course the colors will change as we scroll down from very warm, reassuring colors to darker colors into the abyss where all of the waste produced on Earth might end up with major consequences on the marine fauna, and it would, of course, have major impacts on human communities.
On l'applaudit, s'il vous plaît.
Congratulations to you and to your student.
Merci beaucoup, Angélique Bernard.
Thank you very much, Angélique Bernard. Again, we see that the motivation of teachers is of the essence in such initiatives.
Le prix de la jeunesse du Pacifique.
Now, turning to the Static Pacific Youth Prize.
Inès Reboul.
The prize goes to Inès Reboul for the project entitled Education in the Pacific.
Si mes informations sont bonnes,
and if the information I have is correct, Inès is online with us. Inès, could you say a few words, please? And again, congratulations to you.
J'ai en profité pour vous montrer ce qu'elle a réalisé.
So let's have a quick look at her submission. What the jury liked about the previous Dataviz was the fact that we actually dive into the abyss, into the ocean with a clear oceanic metaphor as we get closer to the potential impacts of maritime pollution. Here we are dealing with something completely different. The project was about education, and the members of our jury liked it very much. Hello, Inès, we're happy to have you with us. Could you say a few words about your project, please?
On ne vous entend pas, Inès.
I'm afraid we can't hear you, Inès.
Je ne pourrais pas lire sur vos lèvres.
And unfortunately, I can't lip read. At least, not yet.
Bon, si on n'arrive pas, ce n'est pas très grave.
Well,
un dernier essai peut-être?
One last try? No, unfortunately, it's not working. Never mind. That's what happens when you go live. There's not much we can do. Thank you very much indeed, Inès, for your excellent project.
J'en profite pour montrer le prix que vous avez gagné.
And this is what you won.
Et maintenant, on arrive au terme de cette
which brings us to the end of the 2025 Pacific Dataviz Challenge prize-giving ceremony. We're a bit late, but I'm sure you don't have anything to do after this. Of course, Now, turning to the last item on our agenda, closing remarks, and we will now give the floor to the Secretary General of SPREP, Mr. Sefania Nawadra, who has the honor of being with us this morning. Thank you very much, Director General. We work increasingly, we work very close with SPREP, and there's close collaboration in the region between the Forum, SPREP, and SPC. Mr. Director General, you have the floor.
Thank you. Let me start by congratulating not only the winners, but all of those who participated in the 3 categories that we had for the competition. I am also thankful because over the last 2 weeks, we've had 2 governing council meetings of our regional organizations. 2 weeks ago, we had the SPREP meeting, which is our governing council. And then last week in Honiara, we had the Pacific Leaders Forum. And just reflecting back on those 2 meetings, one of the common threads is the issue of data. Not only the lack of data, because in some cases we do have data, but the availability, accessibility, and also the analysis of the data to make it useful for various purposes, including, in particular, decision-making at various levels. I'd like to congratulate the regional organizations and other partners that have been involved with this initiative because it brings up the need to continue to work at this fundamental issue for all of us. SPREP's work on data, if I can just share very briefly, about 13 years ago, we started a new program within SPREP that concentrated on environmental governance and the collection and management of data. We had not produced state of environment reports for over 20 years. So we decided that one of the first things we needed to do was to make sure we enable our countries to do this. Through a JEF project, we were able to do that. And now all countries have environmental data portals, and most have produced at least one state of environment report, and some have done multiple reporting. This is important because many countries actually have a legal requirement that they do this for their population or for their public to enable them to be informed of the condition of the environment. In climate change, the issue of data for us here in the Pacific is a crucial one. And this is why we have a program called Weather Ready Pacific that is working with all our meteorological services to strengthen our ability to collect climate data, including from traditional knowledge sources. This is something we should not ignore. I think there's a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge in our traditional communities that are increasingly lost because they are not passed on. So this is something that we also need to bring into our efforts in collecting, managing, and making available data for decision-making. The work of our Pacific Climate Change Center focuses a lot on data, getting science to policy. We have an initiative where we have an ocean science, climate science conference every 2 years. The next one will be in Solomon Islands, hosted by the Solomon Islands National University. And the idea is to allow scientists and policymakers and decision makers to have an interface where they can share with each other what sort of research is needed, and for the researchers to share the results of their science so it can be incorporated into decision-making, negotiations, and various sorts of advocacy that we engage with. I wanted to highlight this because all of us need to work within our various areas in working at improving our data collection, data collation, and data analysis. And most directly relevant to this competition, making that data available in a way that is easily understandable and that is useful for decision makers to utilize. Sometimes data can be complex, data can be hard to understand. So this is the role of scientists and technical people to bring this and make it available in a way that is understandable to decision makers and the public in general. I also want to encourage all of us who work in this area to look at new technology and what we can do utilizing new technology to enable us to collect data more easily, using platforms that we may not traditionally be able to access before. We, this year, or in the last 2 months, launched our new center here called the Emma Luke Center, which focuses on utilizing Earth observation to make data more accessible to our members and to the public. To end, let me just thank again the organizers, the partners, and the participants and winners, and encourage you to continue to work at data, work at our ability to analyze and present data, so that when we send our negotiators out to the various conferences of the parties, the UNGA, other meetings, that they are well informed and equipped with data to be able to argue well on our behalf. And also, more importantly, for our own decision makers in our countries and regions to be able to make informed decisions that will serve us all well going forward. I end with a quote that I hear a lot, and the quote says, without data, whatever you're sharing is just opinion. So I think if we don't want to sound like an opinionated person most of the time, we need to ensure we back our arguments with data. And that responsibility falls on all of us who work in the data space. So thank you, and I wish everyone well, and look forward to working with all of you as we continue to build and strengthen our data capacity in the Pacific. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Vinaka. On applaudit, s'il vous plaît. Cette conclusion de M. Sefania Nawadra, donc directeur général de SPREP.
I'd like to thank the Director General of SPREP. This brings to an end our prize awarding ceremony for 2025. And we please congratulate one last time all of the participants and winners with us or online. Congratulations to all of you for your excellent submissions and your excellent projects. Now, turning to your questions. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask them either in the chat or by asking for the mic that's circulating in the main conference room. And the same goes, of course, for Suva. If you have questions in Suva, please feel free to ask them. But I'm pretty sure everything was crystal clear. No questions in the chat, it seems. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we do have questions in the chat. Oh, we have a question here. Could we perhaps have the list of winners, or is there a classification that's available so that we know what our position was in regard to the 148 participants? Actually, at this stage, we have no such classification on the website. However, All of the Dataviz products that have been produced this year are available on our website. And if you want to know about the position in the list of your students, please get back to me and I will give you the information. Any other questions in the chat? I don't think so. In that case, of course, the meeting is over, but we will still be very active on social networks. So if you want to keep abreast of events of what is going to happen in the next few months, do check our website regularly. And before we conclude, I'd like to point out that I've been working with a team that you can see now on the screen. They're invisible and work off stage, but they did a fantastic work and they all contributed to the remarkable success of this year's challenge. And it's important that we thank them and acknowledge them. And of course, I want to thank our donor, New Zealand. Without New Zealand, this event would not be possible, and the Dataviz Challenge project would not be possible. Thank you very much to New Zealand for believing in us. And this brings this event to an official close. There may be some nibbles left outside, so please enjoy in Noumea or in Suva. And I do hope that we will all meet again next year.
Colleagues, thank you so much for being here today, for giving us your time.
Can we have the winners?
I think there's some food left outside if you haven't had any.
Pélagie or Eunice?
Yeah, and thank you so much.
And please take a photo as well for the winners in Suva.
Stay tuned to our social media platforms for more information on next year's challenge.